What's up, summoners? King Blair here. Today, we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't be farming the current Caides hunt 11 and you should just wait till Caides hunt 13. Now, there are two reasons for that. One of them being that it is not energy efficient. For the amount of energy you're using, you're not getting as many rewards or good pieces of gear as you would if you were farming any other of the hunts. And that can hurt you in the long run because you're spending so much more energy and kind of stalling your account progress. The second thing is going to be that the sets themselves, while they're very unique and can go very well on certain units, are overall pretty niche and very late game types of gear that you won't be needing and you can easily replace with any of the gears in the other hunts. So we'll talk about each of the gear sets individually, what they do, where I kind of see them being used, and why you should kind of just wait. Like, while they're really cool and everything, you should just wait because it's just not efficient enough. So if you like the video and want to see more, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Discord server. Link down in the description. Thank you so much for the subscribers and the guild. I'm so excited for it to start open the next week. So yeah, let's get right to the video, which is what you came here for. So all right, first, let's talk about the first concept that I was introducing, that it is not energy efficient, right? So we see the rewards that you get. You're spending 20 energy, which is quite a lot, and you're not getting as much gold or crystals or everything as the other hunts. The other thing is that you're also getting level 70 pieces of gear that, for the most part, level 70 pieces of gear are pretty much useless when compared to level 90 gear, level 88 gear, and even just regular 85 gear. You're going to be phasing it out, and it's not going to be able to compete with the current sets that you already have unless you get a level 85 piece, which is going to take you a very long time, right? Because the pool is flooded with these level 70s. The other thing is, let's say you get the godliest level 85 piece, the perfect set, perfect substats, perfect everything. For you to get the reforged materials needed is going to take you an extremely long time because this hunt only drops 2 of the reforged materials. You only get 2 manifestation stones, you only get 2 of the things that you're going to be able to craft that, and you're not even getting that many things to be able to craft in the first place, so that odds of you getting a good piece of gear and then being able to reforge it are very, very low, and it's going to take you an extremely long amount of time and a bunch of energy that you could have used in another of the hunts. When we look at the other hunts, let's look at Wyvern, right? Which is the hunt that everyone should basically be living in, with the exception of a couple of Banshees and a couple of 813s, right? But when we look at the rewards for Wyvern, it is all level 85 pieces, so it's not as flooded. You're getting more gold if you sell those pieces. You're getting more energy. You're getting 4 reforged materials. You're also getting conversion gems. You're getting another 4, and you're getting more claws, allowing you to forge more, which means that you'll be getting more pieces of gear quicker for this basically the same amount of energy. This is only 22 energy. So you're spending all this energy to try to get a specific set of gear that is not going to be as insane as you want it to be, whereas you could have gotten 2 or 3 really good pieces in Wyvern and get them up to speed way faster, right? So that's the energy and efficiency. And now let's go to the second point, which is going to be the sets themselves. While they are really cool and really unique, you can go without them, and it's not going to hurt your account at all if you don't have these pieces. And for the time and effort and energy that you're going to be putting into it, it's definitely not going to be worth it. It is very, very late game, and very few late game players are actually even farming these just because they really want to play around with it, and those people have way more energy than an early to late game player has, right? So again, let's look at the sets themselves and why, while they are really cool, aren't really necessary. So right, let's look at the Revenger first. So the speed increase is 10% at the base, right? So that's not bad, right? That's actually, I'm pretty happy that they gave it that initial 10%, right? The other part of the set is going to be, for every 1% lost, speed is increased by initial 0.5%. So now the closest thing you can compare this to is going to be something like the speed set, right? So when you think of the speed set, they're both a 4-piece set. For the revenge set to give you as much speed as your speed set, you have to be at 70% health or lower, right? Because this extra speed is based on your base speed. So it's the same thing as a speed set. So this means that you have to be at 70% or lower for you to get the same effect as a speed set, which relies on your opponent actually hitting you. While this does sound really cool and really unique for a lot of bruisers and different units, you also are losing out on that initial game potential, right? While you have the option, like the lower health you go, the faster you get, you're missing out on that turn 1, which is often very, very important. So it is really cool, and I could see a lot of boosters actually using this, because once you get below like 50% health, now you're talking about a 35% increase to base speed, which can be pretty crazy, right? For units like Ravi, for units like a Ravi, for a lot of those units that can take a hit, tank out, and stay there, and even for some tanks. But you are giving up that critical turn 1, and you are relying on the opponent to attack you. So at times, while it can be really good, Speed Set does the job just as well and more consistent, right? So Revenge Set has higher potential to be insane speed, but Speed Set overall is just going to be your go-to steady, and you're getting a lot more rewards for farming that set, right? Now onto the Injury Set. This is one that a lot of people are excited about, but I don't see it being used in a lot of units because it's a force set. So this, you have to realize, it's competing with things like critical hit damage. It's competing with things like speed set. It's competing with a lot of different really good 4-piece sets. What it does is after you attack, you decrease the target's max health by up to 5%. So effective against only heroes and can stack up only up to 50%. Now, the first unit that this actually comes to mind is going to be Seaside Bellona, and that's the only one that I can really think about that can make use of this injury set. The problem with Seaside Bellona against units like Rowana is usually by the time that you scale up enough to actually make this injury set worth it, where you put enough damage onto the enemy where Rowana is not healing, you most likely already lost the fight, right? So while it is really cool for Seaside Bellona to fight Rowana, it does nothing against Last Rider Crawl. Rowana is still pushing up the rest of the team. She's still healing because it's only 5% of their health, and if Seaside's doing more, it's not going to do as much. So it's going to take a while to ramp up, and what it is really cool, and I could see Seaside's running this and being absolutely toxic, it's something that you can go without, because you can just build a Seaside that just smacks people, right? Rowana is still a bad matchup, but you should be bringing units that can deal with that Rowana. That's all I meant to say, right? So Seaside being the only one, really cool. But again, you know how long it's going to take you to get 4 pieces of injury set that are the same level as other 4 pieces and not lose on the extra bonuses from crit rate that you get, like double crit rate from Seaside. It's going to take a while. But now on to the last set, Penetration Set. This is the one that everyone wants and everyone is farming for, and it is very, very cool. I'm really excited to farm this in the future, but I'm not going to do it right now. It's not that big of a deal. Why? So what does it do? When attacking with a single attack, penetrates the target's defense by 10%, does not attack with other sets of the same name. So essentially, 2-piece set, it would be replacing your immunity, it would be replacing your crit rate, right? So there's a lot of things it would replace. The other thing is that it's only single target damage units. The units that come to mind when you think of Penetration Set are going to be units like a Kali, Rylet being one of the bigger ones, and there's people like even like Alencia, right, could use this set. Anyone that has single target attack skills, you're gonna be able to make use of this Penetration Set. And a lot of people are like, man, this is amazing, 10%. But then you realize what you are giving up. You're giving up a crit set that is giving you 12% crit. You're giving up an immunity set that could potentially win you the fight against a control team, right? So you have to realize that you are giving up a lot by giving them Penetration Set. If you're doing a speed Rylet, it's going to be really hard for you to get that 100% crit rate with a Penetration Set, where you're going to have to find almost the perfect gear to make it minimally better than what you already have, right? So that's the reason why Penetration Set, while I'm really excited for it, and once I actually start farming this and getting more Penetration Set, then I'll eventually be able to get the set that can also be amazing on Luna that doesn't need the crit rate, right? She doesn't really need crit rate because she has a lot of innate crit rate, and I'll be able to have a lot of fun with it. But the time it's going to take me for me to find the piece that can a set that can replace my current set is going to take too long. So to summarize what I talked about for the equipment, essentially all those pieces can be replaced by another set. It's going to take you a ton of energy to find the perfect set to replace your current things, and you're missing out on so much gold and so much things that you could be getting from Wyver, Banshee, A13. If you are a very late game player, now this doesn't really apply to you because all your units are basically built, you don't really care about energy, maybe you have a stockpile of energy, and that's fine. Then yes, you're welcome to farm it, but just know if you're an early to mid-game player, I wouldn't even take a look at it. It's going to take you so long, and you can progress so much easier by doing all the other hunts. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I have been able to clear it. I haven't even started thinking of the hunt teams. So when they do the 13, I will try to make a video guide on that. But that is all I got for you guys today, and I will see you all next time. Peace.